I'm going into different levels of things in thought right now, and that's probably because of my microdose this morning. I'm on this mind kick right now, but it just really would irk me. It really irks me that just the it's not arrogance. The fact that they would approach me and ask me a question like, "What do I do?" Who asked a question like that? It's almost what is the word for that? I can't think this word. I have words that get on my mind. I used to really, when I was young, I used to love when I was on restriction. I had a picture dictionary, and I would go through that picture dictionary and just read words, and I'd love to read words and put words together and try to sound them out phonetically. And I can't think of the word that I'm thinking of. The arrogance, the um, condescending, condescending. There was almost a condescending tone to when they would ask, you know, oh, I love your post. What do you do, or where you know, huh? Condescending, is that the word? I don't know. Maybe I'm being sensitive right now, but it would drive me nuts. It would literally drive me nuts. So I'd stop paying attention to it. And it was like, I don't need to hear or make comments. Or there used to be a point in time where there even some of my good friends, I recognized when I'd put posts that sometimes it affects a person on the left side worse than the right side, or they may feel like I'm talking directly to them. And I think that's great. You know, there were some friends that I just put a post because I used to try to argue my point when I would put a post up. That was many, many years ago. Well, why would you say that? I think that this right here, or they try to come up with the God. Well, the Bible says, I'm like, you know what? I'm not being spiritual. I'm not being better than you. This is just an observation. This is something that I feel. They try to get the intellectual superiority over me and my comment to let the world know that, yeah, I have, there's someone in particular. I don't even want to mention this person's name, but in particular, this one person. Is when we were young. Do you ever have that time somebody who you're close to, they think they know everything, and you're back like everything you say, they challenge it, or they try to get one up on you, and there are things that they're saying are so insane, and you're just like, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about, or this girl doesn't know what she's saying. Oh my gosh. And I don't even want to argue with her or him anymore. So I used to get a bunch of those. I got a bunch of those because a lot of times I come to find out as I was growing up, I used to placate a lot of people. And when I say placate, I used to allow people to get on my nerves. I used to allow people to say things and just let it be. Just let it go. Just let it flow over me like water. And now, in particular, now that I'm older now, in my elderly statesman's like life that I'm living right now, I would let those things happen, and I realized that some of those things, those are people who are stuck in an old mind frame, and I'm beyond that. So I don't let that bother me anymore. That's why lots of times I learned that I came to a position where I came lower than who I am personally. I lowered my standards, and I swam and I slummed for a long time, and I was being very lowbrow, low energy, hanging around a lot of low energy people. And now I've elevated my status. Not to say that I'm better than anybody, but there are certain people who don't want to rise above their situation. They don't want to get out of their situation. They just want to sit back and be status quo. I'll just be that stat. I'm just going to be that guy who just stays in the house and doesn't do nothing all day. And that's who I am. That's a decision that they choose to make. I personally do not, but that's what they choose. And I've come to realize that in my older age that that's something that I just don't want to do. I think that we're here for bigger purposes. I think that we have a calling upon us that we need to follow. If it comes, it comes. Some people get it and others don't. Some people grow and others don't. Some people, when they see you grow, they don't want to see you grow. And they continue to see you back in that stage when you were in the 6th grade, or when you were younger in your early teens, or, they just don't want to grow, period. And it's sad. It's sad. I have quite a few friends and acquaintances that I know that are like that want to stay in that level that we met when we met. And it's sad. It literally is sad. I'm glad to be where I'm at. And mentally, I've got to this point in my mind, in my life, that I do believe that there is this, if you ever look up this word, it's called bodhisattva. A bodhisattva is a person who has reached a certain level of, I'm not going to say spirituality, but this person has done their work, and let's just say, for instance, you're dying and you're getting ready to enter the pearly gates of heaven, or you've died. You went and experienced life to the fullest, and you've done good, bad, or whatever, but you've reached that point where you've passed. You're getting ready to enter the pearly gates of heaven, as they say, and the door's wide open for you to come, but you decide, you know what? I'm going to go back. I'm going to bring a couple more people with me before I go. That's what a bodhisattva is. And that's what I feel is my job as a bodhisattva, is to come by and help guide people. I can't strong arm you and pull you in. I'm just going to drop little nuggets of information, conversations, spend that special time, that moment with you to help you get to that little bit of darkness or fogginess that's in your mind, and help you adjust your way of thinking and see something from a different point of view, and leave you with it. And then at that point, it's your decision whether you say, I'm going to take that information and move ahead, or I'm going to stay down at lower levels of where I'm at in my life. And it was important to me to say that as a bodhisattva, because when I was younger, I wish that I had someone speak to me that way. A lot of times you're younger, you don't want to hear nothing. I don't want nobody telling me what to do. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. Are you kidding me? No one's going to tell me what to do. I know I'm doing it right. I know I'm right. But I do wish, and I do think that deep down inside, I think everyone has that feeling of, I wish that someone told me this when I was younger. I wish that I had heard this. I've always, as I was growing up, I have always consulted with someone who was older than me. I've always consulted and listened to my elders, I guess you can say. I've learned to navigate some of the BS artists with the people who are genuinely sincere. And it took a long time to actually get an understanding of it. But my goodness, sometimes there's others who just don't, and they just like to keep you in those lower levels. Oh, it sucks. It sucks, especially when it's someone that you know and you love, and you realize, I'm just using this example, my mom said that? My dad said that? Wow. I have to move on from that, because this is what I was raised in. This is something that this is a lifestyle that I can't live. This is something that I'm bigger than this, and I can't just stay down there anymore. I can't allow that to come down and just stay on me all this time. It's hard. It's a very, very hard walk to walk. I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody. This is my own general walk, and this is my talk. This is my vlog, right? So I've always been wanting to have these conversations, and I'm using these conversations right now, these morning talks, to clear things out and to actually say, even to myself, that I have a voice. For years, I hung around a lot of lower level things. I associated with a lot of lower level things. I slummed. I slummed. Oh, yes, I slummed. And I got back on. I got back on at a young age. When I was younger, I always felt that I was a troublesome child, until I went through my therapy sessions and I realized it wasn't me. It was a mindset that I had that was pushed upon me. That you're never going to do this. That you're always going to be that. That this is who you are. And I've always felt that I was more than that. And I'm glad to sit here and be here right now to this day, to have this positive attitude over all the things that I went through. And I can say this much. Some people say, oh man, you don't talk about the past because that's bad and horrible. There are things that I went through that gave me this perspective that I have today. And it sucks to think about it. We were doing a podcast about a week ago, and one of my friends had actually said that, you know, he had been raped when he was younger. And from that rape, he had a distrust for a lot of people. It was pretty hard. We were in the during the podcast, and we were saying, you know, but it's that perspective that has driven him to do other greater things in his life. He's doing things, working with other individuals from around that age group that when he was molested. That is the past that he is using to forge a positive look on life to the future generations. It's a legacy thing. And we were trying to explain it to him, that, you know, that trauma has made him so great in what he's doing, what he's establishing now, and things that he's doing in his life right now. And he made a comment. We kind of joked about it. Thank God we have the sensibilities that we can laugh about these things as adults. But he said, "What, you trying to say you're happy that I got raped?" And going along the lines of what I said earlier, I am so glad that I went through the things that I went through, because those things made me who I am today and gave me the perspective to have this conversation that I'm having right now with you. Those things in the past that make you, break you, hurt you, those are character things. That trauma that you go through, those are character things that make you who you are. And I always say to myself, excuse me, let me get this out. I always say to myself that I want to just be Jiminy Cricket. I always wanted to be that person sitting there, that fly on the wall, listening to someone's stories, and then be able to just interject and say, "Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. I've done that before. I was there. Hold off. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. I know it seems like you're going through it right now, and I know it sucks right now, but it's gonna get better. Just hold on." Yeah. I used to always feel that there was bigger and better things for me to do in life, and I'm in that zone right now where I'm doing those things that are affecting others in a positive light, and I want to continue. There was when I went on my first officially guided psychedelic experience. I came out and I was like, I want to find some other black people who are like me, who think like me, who feel like me. And it was just a really, really weird thing. And the medicine woman, she actually said, you know, that person you're looking for is you. And that hit me like a ton of bricks still to this day. Even saying it right now, it kind of gets me a little bit emotional. So when I sit back there and I look and I think back on that young child that I was, that I would wish that I had someone speak out for me, and here I am as an adult now, and I know that there are adults who are still